How do applications get into the FlexApp feature set? Well, we've got a packaging console I'm going to flip over to here in the demo, and I'm going to show you this packaging console would run on a machine you could snapshot is the best machine to package apps on, and that's across the board. Even if you're doing isolation, if you're doing any type of packaging or sequencing, you wanted a machine you could snapshot and keep clean at any time. So I've got some applications already packaged in here, and we'll create a new one. And while we're creating a new one, what we'll do is I've got a installer for Thunderbird, the old popular email application, already out here, and let me flip to that and point to the installer for Thunderbird. And now I'm going to point to where I want this VHD to be stored on the network. And I've got a path here on my demo environment where I would store the VHDs and probably keep those on good performance storage and centralize those department installed apps is my path here that I've deemed. You can allocate as big as you want a VHD, but it's going to be expandable, as you saw there, and it'll grow. So it's going to start off small and it'll grow only if needed. So by default, we'll just specify that 1 gigabyte. We create the VHD here, and this is happening in real time with no delays here. And we're going to extract, the executable needed. Thunderbird is going to install very much a next. I chose a small app for today's demo, so you wouldn't have to wait through some mundane installation phase. It'll install relatively quickly here. On the packaging console, you'll see it installs like any other app. But what's happening here is FlexApp is actually capturing the binaries, putting them on the VHD that can be assigned. It would happen the same way in a VMDK environment. You see Thunderbird shows up on the desktop there, and it actually launched because I click go ahead and run it at log off, at finish. And Thunderbird's fully installed, but it's actually not on even this packaging console. It's already been captured. We'll close this down, finish the packaging process, saves the package. The packaging console, it really talks in real time, or speaks in real time with the management console you saw a minute ago, the ProfileUnity management console. It does this through an open port or web-based console. Authenticates the same way. Now we've got this app in here. Let's go back over to the ProfileUnity management console and back into FlexApp department installed apps. We'll edit the rule set that we've already got some apps there. See Thunderbird has shown up there, and we'll just drag it over there. And we'll leave it applied, the filter up top saying apply it to all. In ProfileUnity, anything you change in your configuration, you want to save it out. We're not in the production environment yet. What makes this live is that we'll update it, and then we'll also download the configuration. You'll remember I spoke about that's hosted on the network. That decouples this management console, leaves us highly available in the environment. We just save that back to our netlog on file share. Again, could be any file share as long as it's highly available. Now, this is an end user. We've literally just gone live with this new update that quick. This is an end user in this environment that's going to log on, a Windows 7 machine in this case. This user's never logged onto this machine before. This is a clean base image, and we're going to layer in all those apps that you saw there in the list, and we'll open up a few of them. ProfileUnity will run. It's going to do its magic right here. File system driver and everything's going to kick in. It's going to bring in FlexApp department installed apps. It's also going to manage policies for that user and do a whole lot more we won't get into today. Whatever you want it to do, replace logon scripts and things like that, it just did as well. And the overall login is really, really quick. And you'll see the applications now start to come in immediately at user login. They'll pop right in. Wherever they were installed in that environment is where the shortcuts are going to go. So you see 4 apps that I have installed in the environment have shortcuts already on the desktop. We'll launch a couple of them in this environment, including the new one we just packaged, Thunderbird. It indeed looks native to the OS. You'll see proof of that in just a moment. I see some questions coming in. We'll get to those in just a moment. Just confirming that Thunderbird's up and running. We'll open up another app here. Foxit Reader is a great app if you are tired of the bloat of Adobe Reader. I use it personally all the time. It's really lightweight, can do a lot more. So that's another one I layered into the environment. You may have caught wind of one of the ones that you were looking closely when Microsoft Office, full-blown Microsoft Office has been layered into this base image. And we'll launch Word. I packaged this up yesterday just myself, imported it actually. One of our other guys packaged it up. And we'll type in here, Word being Microsoft Word delivered by ProfileUnity FlexApp. And now I want to show you one neat trick. And to prove that there's no smoke and mirrors going on here, let's just leave a few things open on the desktop. You'll remember I talked about a pair of file system drivers making all this magic happen. And these are invoked as a service here. The FlexApp, ProfileUnity FlexApp container service makes that magic happen. Those file system drivers working on a registry basis, working on a file system basis. Look how native these look. Thunderbird's in here. Microsoft Office is in here. Everywhere a binary, no isolation. Everywhere a binary should be, it's in there. Let's just go to that service. And I'm going to browse to that service. And I'm going to abruptly end that service. And we'll see what happens. And we'll show you how no trace is left behind. This is the same way if you'd roll back applications and took them out of the configuration. We'll stop the service. And magically, all of these apps, all the registry entries, all of the file system truly disappear. If you'll look here, there's not a trace of any of those apps. Thunderbird's gone. Office is gone. It's as if they never happened. Keeps your base image clean and delivers things in a really, really native way. I do want to take a moment here and show you some of our big competitive differences and why ProfileUnity with UEM built in with one single console to manage everything, we feel is a strong way to go. We have application rights management in here built into ProfileUnity, privilege elevation, so standard users can be elevated for certain apps to run apps or to install apps. Application restrictions, so you can basically lock down apps that might be in the base image of any kind, not just FlexApp, but anything that's in the base image or delivered through layering, you can lock it down. And that's where we could help app disk from Citrix. The registry here area is a very powerful area. Everything ProfileUnity runs, it runs with admin privileges. Huge difference than the competition. They run in the user context. That gives us big ability to push out HKLM keys and to lock down machines. We have flex disk management, which would be our VMDK options in ProfileUnity. We've got our filter management. Now, how do you granularly assign anything, even an app? We're not limited to machine level. We are limited by your imagination. Look at this filter that we can write based on anything. MAC address, IP address range, ICA client address or client name. You can stack these up. You can come up with over 300 combinations. Here we've got Active Directory groups that are automatically seen. You can go all the way down to an individual user and assign an app. So in this case, I wrote one named Jason in development. So if I was a developer and my username was J Smith, I've stacked these up, and this could ring true for a policy in ProfileUnity or for an application to be applied. Big, big, big differences in the competition. We can get very granular in how we can assign apps, how we can kick off even complex apps. Users use apps, not machines, and that's a big key difference. So that, if you look over here, there's one more thing I'd like to show you, and it is our profile disk technology, layering in an entire profile as a profile disk, as a VHD or a VMDK. And this gives you a lightning fast profile, but we're not abandoning our portability rule sets, which can get very granular. So think about this as giving a user a persistent looking profile, even in a non-persistent environment. It's already there when the user logs on. And then you can augment it with our portability rule sets. You can actually remediate between operating systems. It gives you the best of both worlds and will only write the change deltas, and that's where it has any impact with the portability settings. Only deltas that are changed in that profile, so you layer in the entire profile as a layer.